Good morning, everybody. It's about 8 in the morning on the 21st of February, 2022. I am 3 weeks into beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. This is my progress report after 3 weeks. I have been taking cold showers every day, getting in some Wim Hof breathing. I haven't worked very much this last week. So my workouts have been pretty light. Glucose has been very good. I'm basically in and out of ketosis every day. From what I've gathered, I haven't been checking every day, but I've been testing my ketones once in a while. I feel my weight this morning, once again, was 175, and then I took a pee, and then it was 173 and a half. So my weight is pretty stabilized there. I could be putting on a little bit of lean muscle mass or losing body fat, gaining some good tissue as opposed to the bad stuff. I feel like I'm still leaning. I'm noticing a little bit more vascularity in some places. Yeah, it's pretty fascinating how you'd think that I'd be going the other way with this diet, but yeah, it's not. Now, energy-wise, I've been pretty good. Sleeping great. Falling asleep very quickly, like really early. I'm not getting a lot of sleep, which is still kind of weird. I don't understand. I don't know if it's my body just coming into its own sort of thing. But I'm not really concerned about it because I'm going to sleep, waking up quickly, like great. And I do a little mini workout. I've started to do some ape hangs in the morning, so I'm going to be hanging on a bar basically for a minute every day just to switch it up a bit. So I'm hanging on a bar and then doing my bridges and squats, knees over toe stuff. I'll get into what the book I got anyway. What else? Let's see. I've been testing my glucose quite regularly, and yesterday I decided it was about 3 weeks. My blood sugar has been pretty normal, and it rises a little bit in the morning, comes back down before my first meal. Usually, like it kind of gradually comes down. By the time I eat my first meal, it's really good. And then, or if I'm fasting, it kind of creeps down. I eat, it goes up a bit, or I work out and it goes up a bit, but then it comes back down. So I wanted to test my insulin, which is kind of hard to do with a blood glucose meter. But I wanted to see how fast my body reacted. So there's something called a Kraft test where they give you 75 grams of glucose and they test how fast your blood sugar goes up and how quickly it comes down. They can basically gauge your insulin sensitivity without doing a HOMA-IR test, which is a resting fasting insulin test, or a fasting insulin test anyway. So what I did was my own version of it, and I was going to use honey because I haven't had any other distractions as far as glucose or carbohydrates. So this would be a good sort of time where I tested my blood sugar after dinner, probably about it was about like 9 o'clock, I would say 9:30 at night. I had finished my dinner at 5 yesterday, so I was quite early. I tested my blood sugar, it was at 80, so it was low, which arguably is lower than average, which is good. So I knew that was a good time. There's no distractions. Let's do it. So I took a tablespoon of honey and I ate it. And within 15 minutes, my glucose was up to 148, which is about 8 point something. I actually measured it with two glucose meters. I've got a Canadian measurement and an American. So we'll just stick with the American one for now because it's bigger and easier. 147 and it was on its way up. So by the time, that was about 15 minutes after I'd finished the honey, by the time I tested it with my other one, I was at 8.6. Now, whatever that means, that's a huge jump. That's crazy big high. So it kind of concerned me. I was a little bit worried about see how long that spike, if it would keep going up. So what I did was I tested it 15 minutes after I ate it, and it was on the way up. And then I tested it 45 minutes later, which would be an hour after eating it, and my blood sugar went back down to 83. So that shows that my insulin is working pretty quickly and pretty significantly. So that would rule out, in my eyes, the fact that I am getting a lot more insulin sensitive, and insulin resistance I'm getting through that pre-diabetic. And that's just a personal test. That's my test that I did. I'm not recommending that to anybody. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I'm just taking it in my own hands to test my insulin sensitivity, and that's kind of how I did it. So it showed that it was really good. So I am, that's all I can ask for as far as the blood sugar goes. I woke up this morning. After that, I was in ketosis. So that shows that my metabolic flexibility is happening. I am switching tanks quickly from glucose, which I didn't get a crash, but I did have a good sleep. So, that would have been might have something to do with the carbohydrates. I think I slept another hour. So, yeah, I went to bed probably before midnight, probably around 11, and I slept until about 7:30. So, maybe that's good for sleep. There is some info out there that honey stores in your glycogen in your liver, so the dawn phenomenon doesn't look, so your blood sugar is better. You know what? That's pure hearsay on my part. I don't really know the logic behind that. I haven't done enough studies on honey. I believe honey is sugar, but there is some good properties to it if you're into that kind of thing, which I am not, because I don't want the blood sugar spiking. But yeah, I was in ketosis this morning, so I tested my ketones. My ketones minorly. It was at like 0.3. 0.3 to 0.5 is 0.5 generally is your stereotypical or your nutritional ketosis minimum. 0.3 though, they're there. The ketones are there. So I would say I was always on a lower spectrum when I was in a ketogenic diet, which my blood ketones were always a little bit low. And generally, as it's like the pea sticks, if you start a ketogenic diet and you test your ketones quite often with your urine, it will show that you're in ketosis. But eventually, that acetate that it checks, it will stop showing, because you're not spilling them over so much. You're actually using them. So that shows that the test is a little bit, you got to watch don't be disheartened that you're not all of a sudden not in ketosis, because then you have to get a blood meter and test your ketones in your blood, which does the same thing, because the ketones get manufactured or get produced. They start going around, your body starts being able to use them. So chasing numbers isn't exactly the best marker. It's it's good to know that you're in there, but I don't really care about my ketones. I know now that I'm fat adapted, metabolically flexible, my insulin sensitivity is really good. My fasting insulin is low. My fasting glucose is normal. I know now that my body is metabolically flexible. So I can go from sugar to fat very quickly without any hiccups or any kind of crazy blood glucose excursions. And that's pretty much me every day. I'm going back and forth from, gluconeogenesis, my liver making my own sugar, right into ketosis. But I'm not worried about being in ketosis for any significant amount of time. I do find that my workouts are a little better with a little MCT oil. That's for another day. But anyway, guys, I just wanted to give that update. This 3 weeks in, and feeling great. That's all that matters. Feeling great. And looking forward to the next week, and then maybe getting into some fish and some dairy. We'll see what I'm going to do for the next 30 days after this. But this one has been a success. I'm going to try and edit in some before and after pics. But once again, please, guys, if you can, hit that thumbs up button. I know that sounds a little cliche, but please, and subscribe to the channel. That's great. And I will keep you updated. and I'll have all this crazy ideas, crazy questions, all in your best interest because I care about you and I want everybody to be good, great every day. And there's lots of ways to do it. And we can find out that out together. All right, guys, stay strong. We'll talk to you tomorrow.